This young man, Richie First, is a financially struggling college student who earned his income as an online gambling affiliate. His reputation as a problem solver for those in need of money, including a trusted lecturer, made him a sought-after resource. However, his activities caught the attention of the dean, leading to a confrontation that jeopardized his academic standing. Facing the risk of expulsion due to the strict anti-gambling policy on campus, Richie explained his financial desperation, emphasizing the need to pay off his $21,000 student loan within the upcoming week. Despite his plea, the dean insisted that continuing his studies required giving up his job. Frustrated and desperate, Richie returned to his dorm and impulsively risked the remaining $17,000 on an online poker site. Despite his attempts at strategic calculation, he miscalculated and lost all his money, realizing he had been deceived. Determined to seek justice, Richie decided to report the incident to Ivan Block, the owner of the gambling site, who operated from Costa Rica. Richie's connection to the world of gambling was influenced by his father, an avid gambler who frequented casinos. Seeking information about Ivan Block, Richie visited his father, who had no recent knowledge of the online gambling entrepreneur, but suggested that Costa Rica was a haven for gamblers. Despite warnings from his college friend Craig, who feared Richie's descent into further gambling, Richie was resolute in recovering his lost funds. Ignoring the campus rules prohibiting gambling, he was determined to travel to Costa Rica, as it was his only hope of reclaiming what he had left. Craig reminded him of the potential consequences of violating the campus regulations, but Richie remained undeterred in his pursuit. Subsequently, Richie embarked on his journey to Costa Rica. Upon his arrival at the Costa Rican airport, he encountered an individual named Pet, who extended an invitation to partake in gambling activities. Richie swiftly recognized Pet as the owner of the online gambling site he had been promoting. Pet introduced Richie to his friend Cronin, and when Richie inquired about Ivan Block, both Pet and Cronin professed ignorance about him. According to Cronin, Ivan Block was a legendary figure in the industry, known to appear only when faced with significant issues. Undeterred, Richie remained determined to track down Ivan Block and decided to attend a gathering of gamblers in Costa Rica. During the meeting, Richie encountered a woman named Rebecca who mentioned Ivan's name, leading him to believe that she might have a connection to him. After persuading her, Richie secured a meeting with Ivan Block at a party later that day. Despite attending the party, Richie found it challenging to immerse himself in the festivities. Instead, he sought out CCTV cameras to catch Ivan's attention and claimed to have identified a problem on his gambling site. Demonstrating courage, Richie attracted the immediate attention of Ivan's bodyguard, who guided him to meet Ivan. Finally, face to face with Ivan Block, Richie promptly explained the hacking issue he had discovered while playing poker on Ivan's site. However, Ivan's response exceeded Richie's expectations. He expressed gratitude and promptly instructed Richie to leave. The following morning, Ivan's bodyguard picked up Richie and escorted him to a meeting with Ivan to delve deeper into their discussion from the previous night. Ivan, extending his gratitude beyond mere words, not only pledged to reimburse all of Richie's funds used on his site, but also offered luxurious apartment accommodations as a gesture of appreciation for uncovering the fraud. In addition to these perks, Ivan proposed a lucrative opportunity for Richie to join him, presenting a seven-figure salary for a year. Recognizing Richie's extraordinary talents as invaluable, Ivan sought to enlist him in working for the company. Furthermore, he bestowed complete authority upon Richie to manage his new site, confident in Richie's ability to develop it successfully. Tempted by such an offer, Richie accepted and promptly left school to become Ivan's confidant, enjoying a high salary, lavish facilities, and the position of second-in-command within the company. Ivan regarded Richie as a cherished member, fulfilling his desires and treating him like a son. As Richie basked in the realization of his dreams, one aspiration remained unfulfilled: his feelings for Rebecca. Despite being aware of her special relationship with Ivan, Richie couldn't deny his attraction to her. Secretly acknowledging Richie's sentiments, Ivan began to pay more attention to him. To deter Richie, he'd assigned him a hefty workload, anticipating that it would discourage him from staying. However, Richie, driven by ambition, embraced the tasks with unwavering enthusiasm. On a particular night, Richie was tasked with recruiting Shecky, a London-based gambling site owner known as the proprietor of Ultimate. With the ability to attract 10% of new gamblers from all users, Shecky held significant potential, prompting Ivan to send Richie for the recruitment mission. Ivan promised Richie a substantial bonus if he successfully convinced Shecky to join. On the following day, as Richie prepared to meet Shecky, he fell victim to a kidnapping orchestrated by a group of men who took him to meet FBI agent Shavers. Shavers revealed his pursuit of Ivan Block, acknowledging the numerous legal violations committed by Richie's boss, including bribes and misuse of customer data. However, due to the limitations of the FBI's authority in Costa Rica, Shavers sought Richie's assistance in bringing Ivan to justice. Despite Richie's release, he reported the incident to Ivan, who downplayed it as a routine threat. Ivan assured Richie that his influence, secured through bribes to the Costa Rican parliament members, shielded him from any potential legal consequences, encouraging Richie to focus on recruiting Shecky. Ivan dismissed the FBI's pursuit as inconsequential. Richie promptly approached Shecky for recruitment, but faced a rejection as Shecky refused to be separated from his pregnant wife. Congratulating Shecky, Richie offered an enticing counter-proposal, arranging a cruise and enticing him with the company of prostitutes. Succumbing to the temptation, Shecky abandoned his commitment to fidelity, and the next day, Richie wielded a recording of Shecky's affair as leverage. In exchange for keeping the indiscretion from his wife, Shecky agreed to provide all his customer data to Ivan Block's company. With the successful recruitment of Shecky, Ivan fulfilled his promise of a substantial bonus. Richie celebrated this achievement with a party, attended by none other than Rebecca. As they spent time together, they admitted their mutual attraction. However, Rebecca, bound by a contract and concerned about Ivan's reaction, who turned out to be her ex, couldn't openly express her feelings for Richie. Despite these constraints, the two acknowledged their love for each other. The following morning, after returning to his apartment from the celebration, Richie discovered a heated argument between Cronin and Pet. Pet, an employee at Ivan's company, had been apprehended by the FBI, who had threatened the safety of his family. Despite being given the opportunity to return home, Pet, unable to endure the pressure, chose to leave and start his own business. Richie tried to reassure him, dismissing the FBI's threats as mere bluffs, but Pet's decision was final. Later in the afternoon, Ivan assigned Richie another task, to meet a local official and bribe him with money. Without questioning the nature of the assignment, Richie agreed and promptly delivered a suitcase of money to the official. However, the official claimed that the amount did not meet the agreed-upon sum. Perplexed by the discrepancy, Richie treated it as an apology and assured the official that he would convey the complaint to Ivan. Shortly after leaving the location, Richie was ambushed by thugs who attacked him unexpectedly. The official, offended by Richie's condition, considered it a message to express his displeasure to Ivan. Upon meeting Ivan and expressing his protest, Richie questioned the legitimacy of Ivan's agreement with the official, who seemed annoyed and angry. Ivan, admitting no fault in the agreement, apologized for Richie's injuries, reminding him that it was an inherent risk of the job. Essentially, Ivan asserted that if Richie wanted to thrive in this business, he needed to be prepared for confrontations. Despite intending to return to America, Richie found himself detained by the Costa Rican police on suspicion of carrying narcotics. Despite his denial, incriminating evidence was discovered in his bag. Just before Richie was sent to prison, Agent Shavers intervened, promising protection in exchange for cooperation. Shavers demanded information about Ivan if Richie wanted the FBI's safeguard. After returning to his apartment, Cronin revealed to Richie a new secret about Ivan's gambling site. Ivan was using his customers' accounts to launder money, manipulating funds without detection to avoid attracting authorities. Before Cronin could elaborate further, Richie received a call from Ivan, prompting him to leave. During their meeting, Ivan dropped a bombshell. He had discovered Richie's father gambling at a casino with counterfeit banknotes, making him a fugitive with a debt exceeding $187,000. Ivan seized this information to coerce Richie into unwavering loyalty, claiming he had settled all of Richie's father's debts in exchange for Richie's allegiance. Confronting his father, who was also in Costa Rica under Ivan's provided facilities, Richie was frustrated by his father's vulnerability to Ivan's manipulation. However, he realized that his father's actions were an attempt to safeguard him from the perils of the gambling world. Desiring Richie to return to college and avoid a path of turmoil, his father hoped to prevent him from becoming a gambler and causing problems. Motivated to take action, Richie devised a plan. While continuing his tasks of delivering bribe money to local officials and police, he discreetly pocketed a small sum for himself. Contacting his friends, Richie claimed to have found the necessary data to trap Ivan, but the call was abruptly ended when Ivan contacted him. Returning home in the evening, Richie discovered Cronin was no longer present. Rebecca then informed him that Ivan was planning to leave, having vacated his office and prepared to abandon everything. However, the business required a scapegoat for the police, and Ivan intended to pin everything on Richie. In response, Richie devised a new plan to capture Ivan, hoping that Rebecca would assist him in this endeavor. The following day, as Richie continued his routine of bribing individuals, he found himself pursued by a car. To his surprise, Agent Shavers emerged, expressing anger at Richie for ceasing to provide information. In turn, Richie voiced his frustration, highlighting the FBI's failure to protect his father and Cronin, who had been kidnapped by Ivan. Acknowledging his lapse, Shavers pledged to fulfill Richie's requests if he assisted in gathering evidence to arrest Ivan. Richie delved into Cronin's findings from Ivan's online gambling site, revealing the exploitation of customers by Ivan. This amassed data became Richie's secret weapon to bring down his own boss. The next day, adhering to his plan, Richie left his apartment and headed straight to America, ensuring that when the Costa Rican police sought him, he was nowhere to be found. Meanwhile, Ivan, confident that Richie had been apprehended, decided to travel to Antigua with Rebecca. Believing he had evaded any consequences, he planned to restart his business in a new location. However, upon landing, he was confronted by Richie, revealing that he was not in Antigua but in America. Armed with evidence of Ivan's crimes, Richie facilitated Ivan's immediate arrest. Although Agent Shavers intended to arrest Richie, he discovered that Richie had vanished. Just as Shavers prepared to chase him down, someone approached him and handed him a flash drive from Richie containing customer data found by Cronin, crucial evidence of Ivan's criminal activities. True to his promise, Shavers released Richie. Finally liberated, Richie began a new chapter in his life alongside Rebecca, free from the clutches of Ivan's criminal enterprise. The end. So, what do you think of this movie? Did you enjoy the recap? Drop your thoughts in the comments section below. One like and subscribe is highly appreciated. Share this video to your friends and family too. And that's about it. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.